Imagine for a moment that the struggles you face, every fear, every self-doubt are not just obstacles to overcome, but a map guiding you toward your true purpose. What if the very aspects of yourself that you've tried to ignore, suppress, or deny hold the key to understanding who you are and what you're meant to do? Today, we're diving into one of the most transformative ideas in psychology and philosophy, Carl Jung's theory of the shadow. But this isn't just about abstract theory, it's about uncovering powerful truths that can reshape your life. By the end of this journey, you won't just understand your shadow, you'll discover how it holds the secret to your potential, your freedom, and your true purpose. Carl Jung, a pioneer in depth psychology, believed that the shadow is the unconscious part of ourselves, the collection of thoughts, desires, and traits we reject because we consider them unacceptable or shameful. Yet, paradoxically, this very shadow contains the seeds of our greatest strengths and the blueprint for a fulfilling life. Think about it. How often do we avoid certain thoughts or emotions because they make us uncomfortable? How often do we judge others for traits that, deep down, we recognize in ourselves? Jung once wrote, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." The shadow isn't just about darkness, it's about untapped potential. It represents the energy we suppress out of fear or shame. Take a moment to reflect. Are there aspects of yourself that you try to hide from others or even from yourself? Maybe it's a fear of failure, deep-seated anger, or lingering envy. Perhaps it's a passion or desire you've convinced yourself is unrealistic or wrong. What if these aspects weren't flaws to eliminate, but messages waiting to be understood? Jung believed that by confronting our shadow, we integrate it into our conscious awareness, leading to individuation, the process of becoming whole. This isn't easy. It requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to step into the unknown. But the rewards are immeasurable. Jung described individuation as the journey of discovering who you truly are, not just the version of yourself you present to the world, but the complete, authentic self that includes both light and shadow. He argued that our greatest growth doesn't come from rejecting our shadow, but from embracing it. Consider this. Every great hero in mythology faces a moment of confrontation with their own darkness. Think of Hercules, who not only battled external monsters, but also struggled with his own rage and flaws. Or Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, who had to confront the darkness within himself before he could truly become a Jedi. These stories reflect our own psychological journeys. The question is, are you ready to take that first step? Are you willing to turn toward the parts of yourself you've been running from and ask, what are you trying to teach me? Jung's philosophy teaches us that our shadow isn't an enemy, but a guide. It speaks to us through our dreams, fears, and even our relationships. Have you ever had a recurring dream or felt an inexplicable pull toward a particular idea or person? These may be signs that your shadow is trying to communicate with you. The process of working with your shadow begins with awareness. Pay attention to the emotions and reactions that feel disproportionate or intense. These are often clues to the hidden aspects of yourself. Once you identify them, the next step is acceptance. This doesn't mean acting on every impulse or indulging every desire. It means acknowledging these parts of yourself without judgment and understanding their role in your life. Imagine how freeing it would be to no longer fear your flaws, but instead see them as tools for growth. Think about how much more authentic and confident you could become by embracing your whole self. In the next sections, we'll explore deeper methods for identifying and integrating your shadow. We'll uncover practical steps to transform what feels like darkness into light, and how this integration can lead you to your life's purpose. And remember, the most profound insight is still to come. Stay with us, because by the end of this journey, you'll not only understand your shadow, but learn how to use it as a guide to your destiny. Let's continue this exploration of your inner world and uncover the extraordinary potential that lies within. Let's dive deeper into the mysterious realm of the shadow and discover how understanding this hidden aspect of yourself can unlock not only your purpose, but also a profound sense of inner peace. The shadow manifests in countless ways in our habits, relationships, and especially in our reactions. Have you ever had an emotional outburst and later wondered why you reacted so strongly? That moment when emotion seems to overpower reason is often your shadow revealing itself. The shadow exerts a powerful influence over us because it operates unconsciously, Carl Jung believed that the more we suppress certain aspects of ourselves, the stronger their control becomes. It's like trying to push a beach ball underwater. The more force you apply, the more violently it resurfaces when you can no longer hold it down. If these hidden parts were brought into awareness, their grip would weaken, offering greater freedom and self-understanding. One of the most striking manifestations of the shadow is projection. Jung argued that when people disown parts of themselves, they tend to perceive these traits in others, often with heightened emotional reactions. A person struggling with self-doubt, for example, may criticize those who appear overly confident or feel resentment toward individuals who excel in areas where they feel inadequate. These responses are not merely external judgments. They serve as mirrors, reflecting back the qualities one has yet to acknowledge within. Jung suggested that recognizing one's own darkness is essential in understanding the darkness in others. Strong emotional reactions towards certain individuals can serve as valuable clues in this process. Instead of focusing solely on their behavior, one might ask, what does this reaction reveal about me? What aspect of myself am I projecting onto them? Rather than assigning blame, this approach invites self-exploration. Every projection presents an opportunity to reclaim and integrate a part of the psyche that has been suppressed. The connection between the shadow and a person's sense of purpose is profound. Often the traits and desires that have been repressed are linked to hidden potential. A fear of failure, for instance, might lead someone to suppress their creativity. Yet, if this fear were acknowledged and worked through, it could open the door to personal fulfillment. Jung believed that purpose is not something found externally, but something uncovered from within. It emerges when a person aligns with their authentic self, embracing both strengths and limitations. This process begins with self-inquiry. Reflecting on the fears, societal expectations, and abandoned dreams that shape one's self-image can uncover deeply buried aspects of the personality. Writing these insights down can be particularly revealing, allowing hidden patterns to surface. Jung himself kept extensive journals, using them to explore his unconscious mind. He also encouraged his patients to record their dreams, as these often contain symbolic representations of the shadow. A recurring dream character, an animal, or an unexpected event might all serve as messages from the unconscious, offering insights into unresolved conflicts. A life lived without awareness of the shadow is like a painting that only uses light colors. It may be pleasant, but it lacks depth. When a person embraces all aspects of themselves, they gain a fuller, more complex understanding of who they are. However, integration does not mean indulging every hidden impulse. Rather, it involves accepting these aspects as natural parts of the human experience. This acceptance fosters self-compassion, which in turn deepens one's ability to empathize with others. Recognizing that everyone carries a shadow creates a sense of shared humanity and interconnectedness. The journey of shadow work is ongoing. It requires patience and a willingness to engage in self-reflection over time. However, the benefits are profound: increased self-awareness, emotional resilience, and a deeper sense of personal meaning. Beyond individual transformation, Jung proposed that confronting the shadow also contributes to the collective unconscious, the shared psychological framework of humanity. When a person integrates their own hidden aspects, they not only reshape their own experience, but also influence those around them in ways that foster deeper understanding and connection. Awareness alone is not enough. True transformation requires active engagement. One of the first steps is cultivating radical self-honesty, which means observing oneself without distortion or excuse. Admitting to feelings of jealousy, resentment, or insecurity is difficult but essential. This process is not about self-judgment, but about gaining clarity. Just as a room cannot be properly organized until the clutter is acknowledged, the psyche cannot be fully integrated without first recognizing what has been pushed into the unconscious. Observing emotional triggers can be particularly useful in this process. When experiencing a strong emotional reaction, whether it be anger, fear, or even admiration, one can pause and ask, why does this affect me so strongly? What does this reveal about myself? Is there something I am projecting onto this situation? For instance, frustration towards someone who seems overly self-assured may stem from one's own suppressed desire to be more assertive. These moments of discomfort offer valuable insights if examined with curiosity rather than resistance. Another technique Jung recommended was engaging in direct dialogue with the shadow. By treating it as a distinct entity, a person can begin to externalize and understand these hidden parts. This can be done through journaling, visualization, or even meditative reflection. Asking questions such as, "What are you trying to protect me from?" or "What do you need in order to be acknowledged?" can illuminate underlying motivations. Instead of seeing the shadow as an adversary, this approach recognizes it as a part of the self that has been seeking expression in some way. When integrated, the shadow no longer operates from the unconscious, exerting hidden control. Instead, it becomes a source of strength and wisdom. The parts of the self that were once feared or denied can be transformed into tools for growth. In doing so, life becomes richer, more authentic, and more deeply aligned with one's true nature. This process often leads to unexpected insights. A long-held fear may be traced back to a childhood experience, or a suppressed trait may reveal itself as an untapped strength. Recognizing these hidden aspects allows for profound personal transformation. Beyond self-awareness, shadow integration significantly impacts relationships. The unconscious mind doesn't exist in isolation. It shapes how individuals engage with the world. Many conflicts and recurring relationship patterns stem from unresolved shadow elements. Repeated clashes with someone over the same issue or attracting similar types of partners could indicate deeper unconscious dynamics at play. Jung suggested that relationships act as mirrors, reflecting unseen parts of the self. Emotional triggers often arise when another person embodies a trait that resonates with one's own disowned aspects. By shifting focus inward rather than blaming external circumstances, these moments can serve as opportunities for growth. Asking, "What is this situation revealing about me?" fosters both self-awareness and compassion, allowing interactions to become catalysts for transformation. Shadow work is not solely about uncovering darker aspects. It is also a gateway to creativity and purpose. Jung believed that suppressed traits hold immense creative energy. The effort used to repress certain emotions can instead be redirected toward meaningful pursuits. For example, repressed anger might become a driving force behind activism, while an unacknowledged desire for recognition could fuel artistic or public expression. Integrating the shadow liberates energy that was previously spent in suppression, allowing it to be channeled into fulfilling endeavors. Many influential artists, writers, and leaders have drawn from their own shadows to create impactful work. Frida Kahlo's paintings, for instance, are deeply introspective, conveying raw emotion and a fearless exploration of identity and suffering. Martin Luther King Jr. transformed his outrage at injustice into a movement that reshaped history. Jung himself viewed creativity as a path to individuation, the process of becoming one's truest self. Engaging in creative activities such as art, writing, or problem-solving provides direct access to the unconscious, offering a means of self-expression that integrates both light and shadow. Now, turn inward and reflect. Have you ever abandoned a passion or project because it felt too exposed, too risky? What if those very pursuits were not weaknesses to avoid, but the purest expressions of your true self waiting to emerge? The process of shadow integration reveals a profound shift. The qualities once seen as overwhelming or shameful transform into sources of strength and insight. Authenticity begins to replace self-doubt, and confidence arises from self-acceptance. This journey is not just personal, it has the power to shape the world around you. As we reach the final revelation about the shadow, a deeper truth comes into focus. What was once feared as a burden is, in fact, a gift. It is the key to authenticity, creativity, and purpose. Jung's insights remind us that wholeness cannot be achieved by rejecting parts of ourselves. Instead, true fulfillment comes from integration, from uniting every aspect of our being into a cohesive whole. Jung famously stated, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." This is the essence of shadow work, not about erasing the darkness, but about acknowledging, understanding, and transforming it. When unconscious fears and suppressed traits are brought into awareness, they lose their hold over us. A powerful method for this transformation is vulnerability. To openly acknowledge fears, insecurities, and imperfections is to reclaim personal power. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, it is an act of strength. It signals a willingness to say, "This is who I am, and I am enough." In relationships, this authenticity is even more transformative. How often do people wear masks, revealing only what they believe will be accepted? While understandable, this approach creates emotional distance. True connection can only emerge when we allow ourselves to be fully seen. By embracing the shadow, the need for pretenses fades, and in its place, genuine self-acceptance fosters deeper, more meaningful bonds. This level of authenticity is magnetic. It naturally draws people in, fosters trust, and deepens relationships. But beyond personal connections, integrating your shadow shapes the way you engage with the world. When you stop being at war with yourself, a sense of inner peace emerges, influencing how you face challenges, seize opportunities, and move toward your purpose. Instead of operating from a place of fragmentation, you act from a place of wholeness. Purpose takes on a new meaning through this lens. Many people spend their lives searching for meaning, as if it were something external to be found. But Jung's insights reveal that purpose is not discovered, it is uncovered. It arises naturally when you align with your true self, shadow included. Consider this. Your purpose is not just about what you do, but about who you are. It is the unique combination of your strengths, passions, and even your struggles that define how you contribute to the world. The shadow is not an obstacle to your purpose. It is a guide leading you toward it. A person who has struggled with feelings of unworthiness may find purpose in helping others recognize their own value. Someone who has carried anger or frustration might transform that energy into advocacy or creating systems of justice. Wounds do not have to be limitations, they can be sources of wisdom. Now, the most profound realization emerges. Jung believed that shadow integration is not just a personal transformation. It has the potential to elevate humanity as a whole. When individuals confront their darkness, they become more compassionate, understanding, and empathetic. They begin to see that their struggles are not isolated, but part of the collective human experience. Imagine a world where more people embrace their shadows instead of projecting their fears and insecurities onto others. Rather than creating division, they would take responsibility, heal, and grow. Conflict would lessen, understanding would deepen, and humanity would move closer to a state of collective awareness. This is the true power of shadow work. It is not just about self-improvement. It is about contributing to a more conscious, connected, and compassionate world. As this journey comes to a close, consider this challenge. Look within, not only at the parts of yourself that you are proud of, but also at those you have hidden away. Ask yourself, what is my shadow trying to teach me? How can I use its lessons to live more authentically? What steps can I take today to begin this journey of integration? Remember, this isn't a one-time process, it's a lifelong journey. With each step, you move closer to the person you are meant to be, one of depth, purpose, and wholeness. As we conclude, I invite you to share your thoughts, reflections, and questions. What has this exploration of the shadow revealed to you? What resonates most deeply? Your insights might be the spark that encourages someone else to take the first step on their own journey. This is not the end, it's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you embrace all aspects of yourself and step boldly into the life you were meant to live. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May you find courage, wisdom, and peace as you continue to explore the depths of your being.